And digitalization has made some achievements. From this exhibition hall, you can see that this is some of the digitalization work. By the end of 2023, we have completed 300 caves sampling, and we have reconstructed in a 3D way. We also have collected 50,000 different archives. The fresco preservation is still very paramount for the grotto, so we cannot open all of those relics to the public. With the digital reconstruction, the viewers could have more opportunities to see more from the grotto. Exactly. So with the digital technologies, the 1,000 years of grottos could be sustained. And now, in 9 provinces and 22 cultural heritage sites, we have the digital technologies to support them. So we are not just working locally, we are also supporting some other cultural heritage sites nationwide with our digital help. On this map, you could see the technical support in some areas, for example, Changma Grotto, Moya Grotto, Yongle Palace, Yungang Grotto. Those are the technical support we offer. And also we go global. On these photos, we could see a temple. It's in Myanmar. It's a very famous temple in Myanmar. Our colleagues from the Digital Institute went to Myanmar to collect data and then reconstruct and restore with the digital support. If you have been to the caves in Dunhuang Grotto, you would know that there is such a huge Buddha statue with the total height of 26 meters. The size is big. The digital data collection was a colossal work. And another difficulty lies in the fact that this statue has a very complicated structure. I could see those photos. There are several parts of the Buddha statue, exactly. There are several layers, so we have to collect the data layer by layer. And then we had a 3D reconstruction. As you can see, there are about 120,000 different papers, including the photos of those different parts of the statue. It's a huge workload, and the staff have to conduct such a job repeatedly on a daily basis. And here, this is the number 57 cave with our restoration work. This is exactly the digital result. It is a specially preserved cave in Dunhuang Grotto. It's usually not open to the public, but now with a 3D restoration, our viewers could enter into this cave and have some first-hand experience. It's almost exactly the same as the real 57 cave. Whether it's the statue or the fresco, we have a 3D technologies to restore them. This cave is very famous. On the frescoes, you could see a Buddha painting. It's very classic. This is the painting of Guanyin Buddha in Tang Dynasty. And if you look at the clothing, the decorations like bracelets, they feel like 3D. So we exactly restore the details in the cave. some traditional techniques were employed. So some of the details about the faded painting were also kept in the restoration. We had adopted the technique of gilding. The gold color, for example, the decorations, adopted the technique of gilding. That makes the entire painting more three-dimensional. And also, the Buddha painting assumes a very elegant posture. And also, on the facial expression, you could find kindness in her facial expression. So this is a very great painting in Tang Dynasty. It's also another result of digitalization. With the support of digitalization, we hold exhibitions in China and abroad, and even the Mogao Grotto could be carried overseas. Thanks to digital restoration, our visitors could have more opportunities to see something not open to the public. And also, we could try to promote our culture to the foreigners. Here, this is another equipment I would love to show you. This equipment is used for the data collection. Like you said, in cave number 130, you used such devices to capture the data. Yes, we are capturing the images. And we also have another guide to explain how to function this big machine. We can take photos with this machine. What's the difference of this machine from the usual cameras we use? The cameras that we use have fixed focus, so every photo has the same size. But with our camera, we have a very fixed feature in different directions of all photos, and then we can piece together all of the photos easily. This is one photo that we take, very clear and very big. But if you want to find this exact same picture on this fresco, it's a very small part of the entire painting. For the preservation and study of Dunhuang culture, it's a very important process. If I look at the fresco, I cannot tell the details of the body parts of that figure in the painting, but now in the camera, I can see very clearly what does this man look like. Together with Zhejiang University, we are working together for some special caves in Dunhuang Grotto. We go into them and then we take shots. So why not the other places and only in Mogao Grotto? First of all, we chose Mogao Grotto because there are very huge frescoes waiting for us to collect data. And in other places, there would be some other plans to collect data and images. I'm not saying that this device is not applicable to the other grottos. That's just the plan. Could you also introduce to us about the working procedure? Of course, it's very simple. The camera takes photos here, and then the photos are uploaded to our computers. Then we can see those different photos on the computer. And also, you can see the overlapping line between two photos, so 50% and 50%. When we piece together the photos, If the distortion is big, then the final fresco will look very different from the original one. So we would have a 50% overlapping between the photos. Then in the entire file, we complete the photos, and then our colleagues would piece all of the photos together. And then we would have a high fidelity copying and printing process. You mentioned about 50% of overlapping in 4 directions. Was that an autonomous process? Of course, we already set it up in the camera, and the camera takes photos in that way autonomously. What about piecing together? Is it artificial work or just autonomously done by the machine? We also need some human intervention in the piecing together process. There might be some errors if we leave it all to the machine. That's why we need human correction. How much time does it take for the restoration of such a big fresco? Usually it involves 5,000 photos. In this fresco, we can zoom it big enough to be 2 to 3 times big of the original fresco. We don't need to pay field visit to the cave in order to collect the data. Instead, we can just restore it with the machine. And it's also more convenient for the researchers because it can be 2 to 3 times bigger than the original fresco. They could have a clearer vision. It's really hard work. They have to take photos one by one and then piece them together, but the final result was very clear and magnificent. It's very convenient for the visitors. They can go to the museums or just read some books to find out the digital results and have a better understanding about Dunhuang culture. And also the photos are clearer. This is another exhibition about the monitoring system. I find so many sensors. Exactly. The visitors go into the caves and ask us what's the function of those devices. Actually, those were designed to monitor the CO2 emissions, temperature and humidity in the caves. The data would be submitted and reported to a monitoring center for better preservation. I see your monitoring system is not just designed for Mogao grotto. We also target at the other grottos. This big screen could have real-time monitoring of those several grottos. As the humidity, the ultraviolet rays, and CO2 parameters, do you use such data to readjust the number of visitors? Exactly. If the CO2 emissions are too high, we would consider closing this cave for some time period, and then we reopen the cave to the visitors. That's a better way for preservation. Yes. The sterilization, the coupling experiment were designed to protect the brick and mortar caves, and then the digital technologies are making those cultural relics sustainable, and they can be carried forward forever. Exactly. I have my own team to interpret and explain the culture of Mogaoku Grotto. Since the grotto was open 40 years ago, in the beginning, we had only 5 guides to interpret the story, but now we have 130 team members. We can offer 6 languages in our explanation. This is one way for Dunhuang culture to go to the world. In 2014, since the operation of this exhibition center, we received about 14 million visitors in total. So here in the exhibition center, we can find a model of the digital exhibition center of Mogaoku Grotto. I heard that there would be phase two of the exhibition center. Exactly on the left side, that's phase one, and right next to it, that's phase two project. With phase two project, you can accept more visitors, right? In the high season, we can sell 6,000 tickets. With phase two project, we can accommodate 12,000 visitors. And also in phase two, we also have some spaces left for the movie shows. So the visitors can just enjoy the movies in phase two building and then continue their tour. So if the phase two project was put into operation, it's much easier for the visitors to buy tickets. Interestingly, we have two interactive activities over here. This is called Walking into Dunhuang. It's a virtual experience. It's about immersive experience. It's another result of digitalization, yes. After visiting the Dunhuang Mogao Grotto, they could step into this hall and wear the goggles. Then they would feel like they're really walking in the caves and see the details in the caves. This is a pretty new way to enjoy the tour in Mogao Grotto. The 3D digitalization technologies and the VR technologies can deliver us brand new experience. Yes, those were favored by the young people. Digital technologies allow more youngsters to enjoy the benefits of digital technologies, and we can attract more youngsters. What experience can we have? This VR experience is about cave number 285. The cave had a combination of multiple civilizations, including traditional Chinese culture and Indian culture and Buddhist culture. So this can best demonstrate the openness, inclusiveness, and exchanges of Dunhuang culture and other civilizations. Our visitors could be part of the stories in the animation. That's truly a very immersive experience. I see. We know the characteristics of VR were about immersive experience. You immerse yourselves in the virtual world, and there were some very interesting elements. For example, you can find a character called Lei Gong. So this god can truly hit the drum and generate some thunder. Very interesting. So Mogao Grotto was changed to become a game for the players. Not just digital technologies and immersive VR experience, we can also find out some other digital achievements. For example, if you log on our research academy's official website, there are many updates. For example, a cloud visit to Dunhuang and the Dunhuang goddess, like this one. This person is like the digital spokesperson of Dunhuang culture. For example, her costumes were originated from Tang Dynasty with some creative designs added. With the digital personage, people could have a better understanding about Dunhuang culture online. This character can tell you stories and share the stories. You can also interact with this personage. You just need to click on your cell phone after logging on the applet, and then you can find about a dozen of special columns. Just take out your cell phone and start your journey in the applet. Before paying a field visit to Mogao Grotto, you can just log on to this applet and do some homework by learning something. For example, you could have some pre-hand understanding and knowledge of Mogao Grotto. Then when you truly pay visit to the caves, you could feel more vividly. Behind us, we can find another interactive activity. It's very interesting, very popular. It's called I am painting the frescoes in Dunhuang. We chose some interesting elements in the Dunhuang frescoes. You can choose your favorite colors to fill the sketches, and you can leave your names on the paintings, so this painting would be yours. And you can also print it and put it maybe on your office desk. You feel like the painter of the frescoes. The coloring. We have some traditional Chinese colors to offer. For example, the green color, the red color. You choose your favorite color to fill. Those colors are typical of Dunhuang frescoes. To be honest, you don't need too many skills to paint. You just need to choose your favorite colors and get a pretty good result. This child is painting by herself. Everyone can be a painter of the Dunhuang frescoes. So in this interaction, we could learn more about the traditional Chinese painting. Keep up the good work. Here in this section, since the establishment of our research academy 80 years ago, we had some research results. So this is an exhibition about our research outcomes, including the publications by the experts and scholars. I sense that those frescoes on the wall are pretty delicate. This is part of the national project. The teachers from our research institute designed and completed those frescoes in 2 years' time. They absorbed traditional Chinese culture and created some new paintings on that basis. So every painting had some specific topic, and the originals were kept in the National Exhibition Hall. With just a first glance, you can tell that those paintings were from Dunhuang. They were not exactly the same with the frescoes in the caves, but you can feel the same elements that resemble the paintings in Dunhuang. What elements are you talking about? For example, this flower, and also the auspicious clouds over here. And a typical element about Dunhuang paintings is about the pit sinking. And also we can find some similar patterns. This painting is themed under the magic flowers blooming with a magic painting brush. This is a restoration of number 172 cave. This is a research-oriented restoration work. In the beginning, in the times of Professor Duan, they imitated very objectively. The status quo of the frescoes must be kept in their copies. So the previous generation really observe and follow the original copies.